Welcome back to Susan's So Creative, where it's only wrong when it doesn't work. Fall is right around the corner and it's time to get set for that chillier weather. I found this great little zip-up hoodie and I thought I'd add a little embroidery to it. So today I'll be showing you the basics for setup for doing embroidery on a knit, how to add designs together or combine designs, and how to use the large hoop and an embroidery on a pocket. This is a little zippered hoodie I found. It's a French terry. It's fairly lightweight, has a loop pile on the inside, but it's nice and soft, be great for early fall. On the inside, I've already taken my fusible cutaway and fused it down to the back of the hoodie. Now on the outside of my hoodie, I'm going to find the center back from the base of the hood all the way to the band of the jacket. Now I've also placed an additional mark where I'd like the center of my design to be. Now we're ready to place it into the frame. Now I've cut a piece of Tearaway sticky that is slightly larger than my large frame. The stabilizer should be snug in your hoop. You want to make sure that the wax paper side of the stabilizer is up. That's the part that you're going to remove in order to expose the stabilizer underneath. Now, in order to keep the straight side snug, we want to place the magnets onto the frame. Start on the inside and roll it out. Now I'm going to score the paper in order to remove it. I'm taking a stylus and I'm just going to trace around the inside of the frame or hoop. And then I'm going to trace from opposite corners to corner, making a big X across the center of my frame. Using the tip, I'm now able to go back in and pick up that edge of the paper and peel it away. Once all the paper has been removed, I'm now going to find these little marks on the sides of the frame, the little raised marks that are marked the center. I'm going to use those as a starter guide to place my jacket into my frame. Take your time when applying your jacket to the sticky stabilizer. You don't want to have any wrinkles involved in your embroidery. Smooth it out nice and neat. And if you do get a wrinkle, just lift it from the sticky and reapply. I'm now going to place a layer of washout stabilizer on the very top. This is going to keep my threads from embedding down into the knit. So if you're keeping track, I have right now one piece of Cutaway Tearaway fused to the back, one piece of Tearaway sticky in the hoop, and now my third layer is my washout that's going on top. At my machine, I'm going to select embroidery mode. Then I'm going to select my RE46D hoop on pattern number 4. Now my design shows me I have 17 colors, but the screen only gives me 5 colors. How do I know what the additional colors are going to be? At the bottom of my screen, I have an icon that looks like 3 little spools with lines next to them. That opens up a second screen that shows me all the colors in sequence of the embroidery. One last thing I want to do to my design, and that is I'm going to add fringe flowers. So I've got my design in the edit screen. I'm going to go to the design here. I've selected the SQ10D hoop, which is the smallest hoop that comes with our machine, and I want pattern number 290. It's a little blue flower. Now I'm not going to make it blue, but it's a little blue flower, and I'm going to take and resize that design. Let's get back in here so you can see a little bit better. Okay, and I'm going to resize this design as high up as it'll go. And then I'm going to move this over top of these little blueberries down here that I'm not real fond of. Okay, so I've got one down on the bottom of my design there. Now I'm going to copy that and then I'm going to move it up to these blueberries over here, and I'm going to do one more And I'm going to move it to these blueberries up here. And then now I'm ready to stitch out my design. Now I have attached the positioning marker embroidery foot to my machine to help me align it to that one mark that I placed for the center of my design. Touch the icon on the top left corner of the bottom of your screen to turn on the light to help you position your design at the center. Now move the arrows at the bottom of the screen to move your hoop so that it positions the light over top of your center mark. Touch the icon at the bottom of your screen in order to access the baste or trace menu. Now do a baste around the entire frame in order to lock all the stabilizer and the fabric together. After I've done the basting, I'm now ready to go ahead and just stitch out my design. Now that my design is completely stitched, I'm ready to remove it from the machine, remove my stabilizer, and cut the backing of the little bobbin thread to my fringe flowers and make them fringe. This particular jacket had some nice little front pockets on it, but it kind of got in the way of where I wanted to do the embroidery. So I've released the seam from the top and from the side of the pocket, but not for the bottom because it's actually into the band on the bottom, and I didn't want to get into that, and I didn't want to mess up the one on the zipper. So I just released the top and the small one on the side, and then I placed a mark where I would like the center of my design to be. Now let's go back to the machine. With my machine, I'm going to select embroidery. I want to select group number 22, which are the quilting design. To scroll to page 5 and select the pumpkin. Now the design I want to use on the pocket is too large even when reduced at the machine. So I'm going to go into the app called Embroidery Link by touching the Designs option. Now select the Continental M17 and the Ready to Sew option. And then I placed a sticky tearaway into my hoop just as I did for the main part of the jacket. Now I'm going to slide this into position a little bit, get that so I've got my position there. Okay, I've got it right where I want. Now I've resized my little design so it's down to about 3 by 2.5 because I didn't want the big pumpkin. This is one of the quilting designs from the machine. But I'm also going to add in, there it is, 290. It's the fringe flower. So I want to make sure I've got this little fringe flower in here. Now it's coming in after the other design because I'm putting it into the third. Now I'm going to copy this, duplicate it, and I want to move it up here to this one too because I want 2 of them. Now all I have to do now is just go ahead and reattach the top part and the side part of my pocket, and then just spritz this with the water to remove the water-soluble stabilizer. In the process of doing my second pocket, I decided I really didn't like this design. It wasn't coming out quite the way I anticipated. So it's only wrong when it doesn't work. Well, this was wrong. It didn't work. So shy of ripping out all the embroidery, which I couldn't do because it was just embedded so much into the knit, I decided just to embroider over it using a couple of other designs from the machine. This is one I just rotated around, enlarged a little bit so that it would cover the entire part that messed up, and then added the fringe flowers to finish it off. So I'm going to go ahead and cut all of the bobbin thread. I'm just going to cut through it once. I don't have to cut it out, just cut it. Then on the outside, all we're going to do is just pull that needle thread, the pretty thread, to the surface, just rubbing my finger over top of it, so that we get the fringe on the top part of the fabric. Now you could go over these twice and give it a little bit more added detail. That's up to you. If you want to do another color in there, you could do that. Give it kind of a blended effect. So we're just going to ruffle that all up. Now the other thing you're going to do is you're going to warm the stabilizer with your iron, the Cutaway stabilizer that we ironed on to begin with, and we're going to peel this back.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and trim off the extra stabilizer close to the stitching of the embroidery. Take your time with this. You don't want to cut the embroidery and you don't want to cut your background fabric. If you leave a little bit around the edges, that's fine. We can go back to the iron and press it and reattach it.
Went back over the design using Inktense watercolor pencils to give it just a little bit more depth and color to an outline design. And here is that design that didn't work. We fixed it with stitching over it.
Thanks for stopping by today. Don't forget to check out your local dealership for any of the supplies or machines I was showing you today. I'll see you next time on Susan So Creative, where it's only wrong when it doesn't work. Bye for now.